Wrestlemania 19. Now this is another one of the big ones. This is one of the ones quite soon after the invasion angle had been finished. This is about, let's say 15 months after the invasion angle was over. So they still had a lot of fresh feuds they could do. And one big thing going into this was they now had Shawn Michaels back on the roster. So let's get into this card, shall we? It was held at Safeco Field, which I presume is some baseball stadium, because I'm pretty sure this is an outdoor arena. Right, let's get into it, yeah. Cruiserweight title, first match. Matt Hardy defeats Rey Mysterio in a good, solid Cruiserweight match. This is Rey Mysterio's first match, first WrestleMania match anyway, working for the WWE. Good solid stuff. I would have thought that Rey Mysterio would have won this, because I've not seen this for a long time and I wasn't too familiar with most of the results on the card. So yeah, I was quite surprised when Matt Hardy actually got the win, and it goes to show you how highly WWE thought of Matt Hardy back then, seeing as they put him over Rey Mysterio. Or maybe it was how little they thought of Rey Mysterio. A bit of both, I suppose. Second match on the card, surprisingly, was Undertaker. Now, this was supposed to be a tag team match. His partner was supposed to be Nathan Jones, and for whatever reason, probably because he was a bit too green and they didn't trust him in the match, they just turned it into a handicap match against the Big Show and A-Train. This was pretty silly in my opinion, because you just had Undertaker basically boss these two guys. Nathan Jones did a bit of a run-in the end and basically knocked out the Big Show down the ramp area. No, it wasn't even a ramp, it was just the entranceway. And then he comes in the ring and it's like a spin kick on A-Train, and then Undertaker picks him up and tombstones him, gets the pin. So although they said it was a handicap match and they took Nathan Jones out of the match, they basically let him back into the match and didn't disqualify him when he did basically attack the two of the wrestlers who were in the match. Undertaker gets the win. Obviously the streak continues. Next up, it was a women's title match where Trish Stratus came away with the title after beating Jazz and Victoria. Again, another strong women's match. Now I say this like I'm surprised, because the last few WrestleManias especially, we've had women's matches that are just terrible, like Lumberjill matches and stuff like that, or maybe like a 4-on-4, maybe we've had that, I can't really remember. There was one last year where it was just Snooki and Trish Stratus, and just what was the point of that? Snooki, Trish Stratus, was it Lay Cool as well? I honestly can't remember. But yeah, the women's matches have been terrible. But yeah, back then they were putting on good women's matches. Trish comes away with the win. Solid stuff. Next up, World's Greatest Tag Team defended their tag team titles against Benoit and Rhino, which I thought was a strange pairing, and Los Guerreros. Now, again, this is the match on the card where it was like, right, we need to get a few guys on the card. Why don't we just all put them all in this? So that's where it all came about, really. I think that's why Benoit and Rhino ended up on it anyway, in this match. Good match. This is a very good match. The tag team work between the Los Guerreros was fantastic. Benoit, a phenomenal wrestler. Rhino can more than carry his load, especially when he's surrounded by such great wrestlers like he was in this match. He can make himself look a hell of a lot better than what he actually is. Now, I'm not a big fan of Rhino. I'll openly say that, but he isn't that bad. He's like an average wrestler in my opinion. Then you have World's Greatest Tag Team, who were a little green at the time, but still were like spot on with the work. They weren't too green so they couldn't work, sort of like a Great Khali, sort of like a Nathan Jones in like this case. But yeah, World's Greatest Tag Team come away with the wins. Great stuff in the match, you know. When you got Benoit and Guerrero in a match and they're like interchanging, and you got Chavo Guerrero, who again not a great wrestler, but he's a good hand. And that's sort of what did him over in the WWE, is that he was such a good hand, they used him as to just put over guys in the end, and it sort of ruined his career. World's Greatest Tag Team, like I said, they were a little bit green, but they were good. They were still good technical in-ring workers. And again, Rhino can more than carry his load when he's surrounded by these good workers. So yeah, very good match. I'd recommend checking this one out. Next up, fantastic 5-star match. The returning HBK Shawn Michaels goes against Chris Jericho. The story going into it is basically that Jericho was a wannabe Shawn Michaels and was sort of jealous of him. That's what they were implying through the feud. Again, like I said, very good match. Nothing really to say about it specifically. You know what you're getting with Jericho and Shawn Michaels, and their styles just meshed really well together. And I don't know how many times they faced each other, because I wasn't watching wrestling at this point. At this point, when was this? 2003. Like, I was in high school, I was like 14, 15 years old. I didn't want to sit in watching wrestling. I was out with my friends, and I'd catch the odd show when I was home, and so I wasn't really keeping up with the storylines, but I'd try and watch it as much as I can. So I don't know, like I said, like what I'm trying to say is that I don't know how many times HBK and Shawn Michaels did wrestle each other during that time period, and that's why I'm not familiar with that many of the results on this card, because the one or two times that I have seen this card, I've just sort of forgotten about it soon afterwards. But yeah, HBK beats him, then at the end, they sort of shake hands. I think they go to hug each other, and then Jericho nails Michaels in the balls, and then bam, just when you think he's going to turn face, Jericho is just a massive heel all over again. Next match, the world title match, goes on 4 matches from the end. That actually really surprised me. I thought this was the main event for some reason. Triple H, even though I've just put HH on my piece of paper here, Triple H defending his world title against Booker T. Triple H was handed the world title, and JR was really facing it up all the way through, like, oh, why couldn't he just do a tournament? If he is the best wrestler in the world, that will, if he is the best wrestler in the WWE, then he would have beaten everyone. But no, he was just handed that title. He's a low down dirty bastard and all this sort of stuff. A lot of people say Booker T should have been given the world title at this time. Again, I wasn't really watching wrestling at the time, so I can't really comment too much on that. But watching this match and looking at it, I was thinking, stick it with Triple H. Triple H had a very long run. It probably should have been broken up by someone, but I'm not sure if Booker T was the guy. I couldn't take him seriously with that look. At the start of the match, he's like facing down. Triple H is like, "You in trouble, man. You in trouble." And I was just sort of like, no, I don't get it. I'm not getting that you're a serious threat, Booker T. But yeah, Triple H obviously beats him with Nature Boy, Ric Flair at the ringside, and Ric Flair got involved a little bit. And yeah, Triple H gets the win. That's a thing. Ric Flair wasn't on this card. Didn't realise that until, well, afterwards, and I've just watched it. Yeah, so Triple H wins the title, keeps hold of the title even. And that's that match. Next we had Vince McMahon versus Hulk Hogan in a street fight. Vince McMahon, the guy who made professional wrestling into sports entertainment, the guy who changed it all up. He wanted to take it away from the in-ring aspect, and he wanted to make it more about the flash and the panache and all that good stuff. All the stuff that gets the mainstream audience looking like, ooh, what's this thing over here? So yeah, and he's against the guy, Hulk Hogan, who was basically the guy that he put it all on. You're the guy who's going to carry my company. You're the guy who's going to take it from the small arenas to the massive, massive arenas constantly. We're going to sell out all over the world, and you're going to be my man. Hulk Hogan versus Vince McMahon, and they'd had a storied past. They brought up a lot of realism into this feud, which I really like, and at the moment they're doing that with the WrestleMania 28 build-up, and a lot of people are shitting all over it like, oh, you don't need reality, they can just tell stories, and oh, you don't need to do that real stuff like about CM Punk's dad, or you don't need to bring up about Undertaker being a brand and all this. But no, it really does hit home and really gets you into the feud more when they do bring the realism into it, in my opinion. Especially with this Vince McMahon Hulk Hogan thing, because they sort of brought up, without talking too much about it, how Hogan left for WCW and basically left Vince McMahon in the lurch, and then he basically made WCW into a massive entity by leading the NWO in that charge against WCW, and then in real terms WCW was leading the charge against WWE and took over them basically with Hulk Hogan's help, the guy who Vince McMahon basically made, and Hulk Hogan made Vince McMahon. So here we go, this massive match, this street fight, and these guys put it all out for each other. This is a very good street fight. I really did enjoy this stuff, and it's because of all the story that went into it. If this was just Crash Holly versus Raven, this would have just been just garbage for the sake of being garbage, but this wasn't. This is a real story. This was, you fucking bastard. You have fucked me. You fucked me over. You left me when I made you a superstar, and I'm going to get you back. And then in Hulk Hogan's terms, it was, oh, you're the bastard, actually, because I've come back here and you're just trying to screw me over because I've turned into a good guy. I want to do it for the fans. Very good match. Hulk Hogan obviously ends up getting the win. Roddy Piper ends up interfering halfway through. He looked a bit tubby when he came out, to be honest, because he had like a leather jacket on. I think he took the leather jacket off. I think that's what he was wearing, and his belly was just a bit pudgy. And he gets like a steel bar or whatever and like nails Hogan with it like twice. But still, Hogan gets up, Does it? No, 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 you! And kicks his ass. Leg drop. 1, 2, 3. Good match. Penultimate match of the night. Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Steve Austin has already beaten The Rock twice at WrestleMania, and this is the third match. This would be Austin's last ever match, well, last ever proper match. He did a bit of stupid stuff with like Eric Bischoff and that in more recent years, but well, years soon after this, but I don't count that. This is his last proper match. Austin versus The Rock one last time, and this is a brilliant match. I really enjoyed this match, especially the ending, especially the story they told in it, where they were back and forth, and JR was like, who is the best world WWE heavyweight champion ever? And it's these two going at it, the top two superstars of the Attitude Era from WWE's perspective, going at it one last time. Who is the better man? And Rock hits Austin with the rock bottom. He kicks out. I think he might have hit him with a second one. He kicks out. He hits him with a people's elbow. He picks him back up. Rock bottoms him one last time. Austin really sells it like he's been destroyed, like Rock has just broken his back all over again. Rock takes his leg, hooks him. 1, 2, 3. Earl Hebner makes the count. And your winner is The Rock. And after the match, Earl Hebner comes over and Rock pushes him off, and he leans over Austin and starts telling him something. Then Hebner crawls back over after a few minutes, and Rock pushes him off again, basically treats him like a piece of shit, like, oh, fuck off, you knobhead, you're nothing to do with us, we're above you. And that's something I really didn't like about The Rock. It was a simple moment. All he needed to do was shout, Earl, leave us alone a second. But he didn't. He sort of like was manhandling Earl. He might have been pissed off with him, but no need to do that. This is an old man at the end of the day. But yeah, they've said that they'll never tell anyone what was said at that moment in time. Apparently Rock's come out and said something like he basically just thanks him for the moment and thanks him for everything, basically, and that's what he said. He said a lot more than that, because this was like a thing that lasted for like a minute, so you know how much you can get done in a minute. But anyway, a very good match. Rock gets the win, and think about that, 2 years in a row, Rock beats the two biggest guys in wrestling history in Austin and Hogan. And again, that's one of the reasons why Rock is so well respected by fans nowadays, and why he's got such a good reputation, is because WWE books him in such a way, because he was so good that they thought, do you know what, he's our top guy, he's the guy who's got to beat these guys, and he's the guy who's got to get the rub. And he deserved it. He was very good. And I still get people commenting on my video, my 10 reasons why The Rock sucks, and they're all like, oh, The Rock doesn't suck, oh, you're British, what do you know, oh, blah, 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 and all this bollocks. And like, they obviously don't get it. It's a parody video. Some people, eh? Anyway, main event time. WWE Championship. Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar. At the start of the show, at the start of the match, Taz says, oh, one guy who is interested in this is Tito Ortiz, the UFC light heavyweight champion. I didn't know Tito Ortiz was at this show. That's quite interesting. But yeah, here we go. Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar in a very good technical match. Lesnar was still a bit green, and he was slightly robotic at times. Now, that's just me being really critical, but it was, again, a very good match. Again, I would say this is better than WrestleMania 17. Whether it's better than 18, I don't know. I'll decide when I review WrestleMania 28, and I'll tell you what my favourite one is of all time at that. So April 2nd, you can log in and you'll find out what my best one is of all time, because then I'll have 28 to look at, rather than just 19. Right, Austin, Angle, Lesnar. Lesnar ends up getting the win. He F5s Angle, he kicks out. He F5s him again, he kicks out. Lesnar climbs to the top rope to do a shooting star press, and Angle is fucking miles away on the other side of the ring. And looking at it, you're like, what are you doing? First of all, why are you going up there? Second of all, your opponent is so far away from you, and this is what I mean by him being green, was the fact that Angle was so far away, no one could have made that jump, and no one could have landed that. And everyone knows the story of what happens next. Lesnar goes up there, and because he's shooting so far away, he mistimes it and he fucking lands on his head. You feel sorry for him, because this is someone who was giving his all for the wrestling business at a time when it was his thing. That was his job, and that's what he wanted to do, apparently, at the time. And there's someone who was trying to make it and probably dreamed of being a wrestler all his life from being a young age. But that was just a stupid thing to do. and apparently he was knocked out. He's pretty much out on his feet, and then he picks Angle sort of covers him, and apparently he'd said to him like, "Oh, just stay down, you fucked up, like just stay down." And Lesnar kicks out, and then Lesnar gets up, basically fucking shit picks up Angle with him as well, gets him up for the F5 and fucking twats him over his shoulder, nails him down, covers him, 1, 2, 3, Brock Lesnar gets the win. Personally, I think that was quite dangerous how he was out on his feet, but he still decided, no, I'm going to do this, I'm going to F5 Angle, especially in Angle's state. He could have fucking broke his neck again. But yeah, very good match. Well, good match to very good, not that great. But yeah, very, very, very good card. I really enjoyed this show. This is one of my favourite WrestleManias of all time, WrestleMania 19. And especially because I've only watched it 1 or 2 times. So whenever I do watch it, it's still sort of fresh. Now I've reviewed it, the results and what happened will all stick in my mind a little bit more. So that will take away from it a little bit. But yeah, very good show. I really did enjoy it. What do you guys think of WrestleMania 19? What do you guys think of this review? What do you think of the series? I hope you've been watching them all. If you've not watched them all, go back and watch whichever ones you're interested in, whichever WrestleManias. Thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate the people who are watching, who are commenting, who are giving me the thumbs up. Even if you give me a thumbs down, that's your prerogative. Thank you very much, and I'll see you very soon with a WrestleMania 20 review. Keep it real, boys and girls. Don't know why I said that, but yeah, see you later.